Have we moved past the need for real tube amps? Welcome back to the mix. I'm ABD. Today we're doing a quick demo of the Universal Audio Woodrow 55 pedal, which is a amp simulation pedal which hopes to emulate the Fender Tweed amps of the mid-50s. These came out just recently. They made a few different pedals. They have the Dream, the Ruby, and the Woodrow, and this is the Woodrow. And we have it plugged directly into an interface. There's no tube amp involved here. We have the guitar going into a pedal board, right now with no pedals on, into another Universal Audio product, the UA Vault. And here we have a Fender Telecaster with single coil pickups, something that you would probably expect to hear from a Tweed style amp. And here's what it sounds like. Right now we are on the Blue 15 speaker, which is based on a 15-watt Celestian Blue speaker. And according to UA, it's a little darker than the standard Jensen speaker, which is the middle position. So here's what that sounds like. Now we can change to the middle position, which is a stock Jensen speaker, and here's what you get. And then finally to the last speaker, which is based on a 25-watt Celestian greenback speaker, which is, according to UA, a little more modern and fuller sounding, with a wider top end, which according to UA is a more modern, richer, thicker kind of sound, and is a good pedal platform. So we can test that out with an ultra metal distortion. Here's what that sounds like. Without the ultra metal, we go back to that first speaker. This is what we get. And so the standard Jensen speaker is probably my favorite, the middle position, and that's for cleans or with pedals or distortion. We could try it with a compressor. Here's what you get. You can add a tube screamer on top of that. Turn off the compressor, turn off the tube screamer, and try a fuzz pedal. And then finally with a chorus. And I lied, we'll do one more, a tremolo. And here's what you get. Everybody's laughing. Everybody's happy. Here come the Sun King. Everybody's happy. Everybody's laughing. Here come the Sun King. So we can talk about a couple of the control knobs on this actual pedal. At the top you have an input for the guitar and like the mic volume, and then you have an overall output of the pedal itself. And then below that you have room, tone, and boost. And room is pretty much your reverb, and so we could turn that up. So you can definitely feel that room. It makes the room maybe a little bigger. It gives it a more volume. It makes it more present. And if we turn that down, here's what you get, more of a dry sound. And so yeah, I'm usually leaving that like in the middle. You can always have a reverb pedal on or in the post. We can try with a delay pedal. And here's what you get with some delay. And why not for some other type of distortion, we have a little rat. And we're going to put some chorus on and turn off that tremolo. So yeah, man. So yeah, it sounds great with and without pedals. It definitely sounds a lot like a Fender Tweed amp, which has a particular sound. It's definitely meant more for like rock, aggressive kind of tone, and not so much like heavier, more modern stuff, but more kind of classic rock stuff. And definitely for that, it nails it. It sounds a lot like that amp. But to me, you can still tell that you're not playing a real amp. It doesn't have the same sort of presence in the room. A lot of people will say that an amp moves the air in the room. You can feel it in the room in a more real, present way. And to me, it's really about the sonic qualities of a tube amp and the real characteristics that you can't really emulate no matter what people try to do. We've gotten very close, but there's just something about real tubes and circuitry that has a feeling when you're playing it, the way that it distorts and breaks up, and the vibe that it gives you when you're playing, the inspiration that it gives you when you're playing. We're getting closer and closer to that reality of maybe not needing real tube amps. These are really incredible products, and the fact that it's a little pedal that you could have on your board, and you can run that to the PA if you're touring or something like that, or if you're in a room and you can't really, where you don't really have room or space to have a tube amp and a big 12-inch speaker in a cabinet, or you're maybe really dealing with how loud tube amps can be, and you want something that you can record directly into an interface where you can practice with and bring with you all the time. And for that convenience factor and all of that, it definitely is better than a tube amp, even a little lunchbox, a 20-watt tube amp. It works incredibly well. The other two knobs and switches that we haven't tried yet is there is a boost. There's a stock boost, which is based on the stock circuit of the amp. There's the KP3K, which is based on an 80s rack delay preamp. And then there's the EP3, which is based on a vintage EP3. And so we could try the KP3K. And here's what that sounds like. I'm actually going to turn the boost up as well. And here's what the EP3 sounds like. And so the EP3 is definitely crunchier and thicker and maybe a little dirtier. I don't know which one I prefer, probably the EP3. but we'll go back to stock and we'll go back to the middle on this pedal. And the other knob that we haven't talked about is tone, which obviously affects tone. We can turn that up and we get this. We can turn that down and we get this. So it's not only making it much darker, but it's you're kind of losing a little bit of volume there, I think, too. Definitely sounds better with the tone up a little bit. So we've tried it with no pedals. With pedals, we've gone through the different controls. The other thing, maybe the best thing about these pedals from UA, is that they offer a companion application which gives you 3 more speakers on top of the ones that we talked about, and a bunch of presets that all different people have been able to work on. And it just makes it easier. You don't have to get up and be fiddling with the knobs. You can go right on your phone, connect through Bluetooth, and use it that way. So we're going to try that next. I'm also going to switch to a Stratocaster here to get a little bit of a different tone. Some people might have a Strat, and that might be what you want to hear. And so here we have the Woodrow open in the UAFX application, and we have a bunch of presets that come with it, and we can go through them. Here is the GB25 off access. And so that was a Strat, and now we have a Les Paul to get one more comparison of tones. And this one is called Pedal Platform, so we could try it with the ultra metal distortion and some delay. And yeah, so you really wouldn't expect to be chugging or get these like really high gain tones out of this amp, a Tweed amp, but it sounds pretty good. We have one called Small Studio. And then Super Dry Clean 10s. That is very clean. If we turn the distortion back on, that's clean and dry and tight. Sounds pretty good. And then we have a thick 4x12 ribbon 160 on access. Turn off the distortion. Here's what we get. And then we have Woodrow Fuzzy Tweed, right? It sounds good with no pedals, and the very last one is Woodrow Greenback Clean. And then finally, the ultra metal distortion on the Woodrow Greenback Clean. And so yeah, that was a not so quick maybe demo of the Woodrow pedal and the tones you can expect from a Tele and a Strat and a Les Paul. We went through some pedal tones with it. We went through how to use the UAFX application with it, which I think is great. It's totally stellar, great sounds in it. I really like the pedal platforms presets that they have in there. And what do you think? I definitely still think a tube amp sounds better. It has a better feel, and it definitely is a little more inspiring to me. I don't necessarily love a Fender Tweed amp. It's not my favorite tone. They do have a Dream, which is based on like a deluxe reverb, which would maybe be a little more to my liking. But I do think it's incredible technology, and I'm happy that UA made it, and that more manufacturers out there are trying to do this virtual amp thing and doing really incredible stuff with it. But what do you think? Do you think it's great? Do you think it's trash? Will you keep your tube amp, or will you throw it away? Leave a comment, subscribe if you'd like to. Thank you for watching, take care, and play amps. Welcome back to the mix. I'm ABD. Today we're doing a demo. Welcome back to the mix. I'm ABD. Today we're doing a quick demo of the